I don't want to kill the ogre. 3 are dead, there is no need for another death and 4 krills, bloodlust to feed. I think we should let him go. He told us everything he knows. Don't undermine my vow. The time to find the children is now. More visions flood Greg's mind. He starts to question what is real. With certainties uncertain, we must go with what we feel. Time is ticking, things now look dire. We need to find the cave in Dyson Desire.
And so, with that, Mr. Gregor Wallows now has new information. Now, the rest of you have not noticed that he has been sort of phasing in and out of lucidity. You notice about, let's say, 100 foot away. You notice a body laying down. Perhaps they're enjoying the midday sun. But who knows? So, what do you want to do? What does Greg want to do? Greg, you're, so to speak, back in the room. So you're all compos mentis in terms of choices.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Greg's going to start to retell the story of the boy running and then feeling someone behind him before he gets conked on the head. But as I am telling this story about him getting conked on the head, I think Greg notices the body in the woodlands ahead of them.
Yeah.
And basically doesn't finish his story and just starts running towards the body. Okay,
so at what point are we talking that you don't finish it? So would they? So just to recap, what you would have seen at that point is that a gnome your memories would have seen a gnome saying that he could help you, and that's about it. So you wouldn't necessarily have you wouldn't have necessarily passed over the Geordie do-good revelation.
Yes, because I wouldn't have technically known that, would I? Would I? Because if I'm looking at it through the boy's eyes, technically he's unconscious at the time.
Wakes up and then hears Geordie say a couple of words and then he's killed.
Yeah, so I think I get up to the point of kind of the bit where the gnome guy says, I can help you, hits the kid over the head, and then see the body and start running towards it.
Okay, so you don't. Wouldn't necessarily know that it's Geordie, or wouldn't have necessarily been able to make the connection. Okay, so Greg's gone. Greg's a running mid-story. Rest of you.
What does his body look like?
Well, you're about 100 foot away, so you can't really see much detail. On the floor, that's literally it. You can just see sort of a body, quite small, relatively small, but that's about it. Roll me perception.
Does the clothing kind of look like the clothing that I would expect?
Like I say, from about 100 foot away, you could probably just about make out something. So yeah, roll me a perception, all of you. Or certainly those that would be wanting to be paying attention.
17 from De Weasel.
17 from Greg.
Ooh, natural 20.
Oh, that's fine.
20.
7. I'm not going to roll for this one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, between you, you may even share the information, but yeah, you can see that the child has some clothes on. Quite ragged clothes. You can't sort of make out much of the detail, but you can see it's certainly, even from this distance, you can tell that this is not a well-dressed body.
I'm going to fly over it as well, because this looks quite worrying.
Yeah, I think I'll leg it.
Okay. So, 100 foot's not that far away. We need to worry about in huge role-playing or worry, but you get there within a few seconds. And as you all get close, Greg obviously first, You notice that this is the body of a satyr, and it's. Why are you laughing, Stuart?
Because you posted on Twitter about an hour and a half ago asking people how they pronounce that word. So that
The reason I did is I've always said satyr because that's how I think it looks spelled out. But apparently that's not how it's spelled. So anyways,
And just for the listeners who don't know what a satyr is,
a satyr is essentially sort of half goat. Is it half goat, half man sort of type creature?
That's
top
how
half.
I'd describe it. Yeah.
Top half goatish, and then sort of really
Danny
loves
DeVito
slender.
with the animated film Hercules.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Tumnus, if you want to take something that's probably slightly more known.
What's that? Is it Satan who's?
What about Hercules?
Do you think the Lion, Lich and Wardrobe is more well known than Disney's Hercules?
Definitely.
This is a poll that's going up tomorrow. So when you see
Right, there's no need to get excited.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know what it is.
Goats your boat. No, sorry.
It's laying face down on the ground. There's a few sort of you can tell that some birds or some sort of creatures have been and had a bit of a nibble on it.
Is he looking a bit gruff?
Yeah, nice. I get it.
And there's a dead child. Is that good?
Yeah. Face down, you can see some blood around, sort of on the ground and its neck area. What do you do? So you at this point, I'm imagining that you've got the corpse. I don't know what Davov. Quinch has flown over to do a dragon's eye view. Davov and Krill, you haven't sort of said anything in terms of what you would have done. I assume you probably would have followed it. I don't know.
I've still got exhaustion, so I'm going to just slowly walk over and. Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
I'm pretty much just enjoying being out in nature. Just.
Do you want to play tonight, or do you want to? You okay, Sam?
Yeah.
Not rolling, just sort of standing around. Just.
I mean, has anyone made a big hoo-ha about it?
Well,
or are they just having spotted it and ran?
You'll have to ask Dweezil and Greg. I mean, Greg literally stopped mid-story and started running.
It was unlikely I was listening to the story in the first place.
Good. You or Krill?
Who's to say? No.
Bloodlines.
You wrote it down as notes. No, it's not. This is not.
I'll be honest. That first not rolling was because I didn't have my dice out, and I have my dice out.
Well prepared.
Yeah,
I like it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's only 50% of the podcast name. Fine.
I'm not sure he's got the other half at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, Dweezil and Greg, have you made a hoo-ha, or did Greg just stop and you've noticed and ran?
Yeah, well, I can't imagine we'd have told you.
Probably not. I'm off conversing with a butterfly or something.
Fuck.
Here we go.
We are only 100 feet away, so at this point, rather than going straight to the body, Dweezil would be looking around the area to see if there were any obvious signs of danger, because if something's killed something, this could be a trap, there could be anything around. So at this stage, Dweezil would probably think that it would be best not to have us all split up, so would probably shout for Krill.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Are you investigating, or are you just sort of more nervous and want to make sure the party's...
I'm not nervous. Grow, behave yourself. I'm just nervous. I'm not investigating as such, but kind of just scanning the horizon, seeing what's around there, any possible dangers, anything where some bandits might appear from.
Give me a Percy perception.
9, Nathan.
9. No, you don't see anything, mate. You sort of scan, you see some hills.
Now that you shouted for me, can I do a perception check now that I've got?
Yeah,
if you got your dice out.
I'm going to use a lovely dice that Mr. Bullock brought me. put a goblin in the middle of it. I rolled a 4, so it's pretty shit.
You notice smaller hills than Dweezil does.
Okay. I lean across to Dweezil and go, small hills, suspicious. And
Almost
that's it.
too small hill. No.
Okay, so Greg's gonna run over to the body and do like a slide onto his knees next to the body in style.
Let him check for that, and if he fucks up really bad, he just need a dead body in the head.
Can I have an athletics check, please?
18 plus whatever it is on athletics I got.
Oh, that's less.
0, 18.
Yeah, you slide. What I would say is you take one carpet burn damage, although it's grass, but 'cause it's quite dry out there. Yeah, you do that and sort of just stop right in the spot you'd want to, right by the body.
Nice. So I think when Greg's close enough, he can kind of tell that it isn't the body that he was expecting. Is that fair to say?
Probably not, actually. Well, it depends what you're expecting, isn't it? What are you expecting?
Well, I had in my mind, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, that the child that I was having a look at in the vision was a human child.
Well, I think that's incredibly racist because I'm not sure I ever said it was human.
Yeah, assumptions. That's disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is.
I'm
sorry to Desire listeners.
It may have been Amara originally, and then obviously
Who's
it's
Amara?
not. Is that not the name of the missing girl?
Oh, okay. Alma.
Alma
Oh, yeah,
Ridley.
Right. Okay. So you're assuming it's.
Don't worry, guys. It's not human.
You're...
And all
Keep
our
going.
non-human races have gone.
Well, maybe certainly half a quinch anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creature's a bit torn about the situation.
Okay, so Greg's gone in expecting it to be Alma, right? So you've got there. So what are you doing now? Before you presumably address the rest of the group, you're surprised. Are you?
Yeah, I think at this point I would tell the rest of the story that I was halfway through before running to the body, so they kind of have an inkling of why I was rushing to the body so quickly.
Okay.
And then I obviously tell them about our good friend Geordie.
What does the group do with that information?
So are we all around the body now?
You might be still flying. You've not said. You just.
Yeah, I've arrived at the body. If that's okay.
That's fine.
Krill has an absolutely incredible sense of smell. Do I smell like, is the body bloody?
Yes, there is some blood on the ground and around, sort of like, so the body's laid down. You can see a small sort of like bit of blood at the back where there was where it was stabbed. You can also see some blood on the ground underneath it. It's sort of dry by now. It's not like it's still oozing or anything like that. It's not wet by any means. It's pretty dry.
Okay. Can I pull out my potion? That I don't believe I used my potion from Geordie. Obviously, he's relayed to us that Geordie's got these potions. He's a potions guy, and he's obviously seemingly using these bodies for something. I take a big whiff after obviously having sniffed the bloodied corpse. Do I notice anything? Obviously, I'm an expert in blood.
And you're smelling the potion, right?
Yeah.
So you uncork the potion and smell it. Remind me, what potion did you have? Yours was flying or something.
Flying, yeah.
Yeah. No, so you have a smell, and it smells like like the clean linen air freshener. That's what your potion smells like. You can't smell any.
I want to throw some on myself. I shan't. I'll. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it smells very fresh. Very very much like you feel like someone's had a shit next to you or something. That's how fresh it smells.
Yeah, I'm not suspicious of a potion.
No.
Quinch would like to say something to the boy or girl.
Go ahead.
Goat child, are you okay? Goat child?
Can you roll me a speak with the dead check, please? DC 1 million.
Is that a D20 and is that religion?
Yeah, plus
that's religion, yeah.
Plus speak with the dead modifier.
So I've rolled a 2 plus 1 for religion, so 3 religion check.
No, that didn't meet the DC.
I was open.
Sorry, I've got to. Obviously, I've just told you about our good friend, Geordie, who I'm not really sure we can call a good friend anymore. I'm a little confused to what he has to do with Deckfar, though. Are they in cahoots with each other, or what are we thinking as a party?
I think the goat child is dead, and I don't think we should let Krill loot the body.
Well, we should probably search the body for clues.
Krill.
Like perhaps there's a certain type of mud on their shoes or something like that that's only found in a particular part of this here landscape.
Do you want me to search the body?
Maybe you should. Maybe you should.
So no one's touched the body yet, right? It's still just laying there in the midday sun.
Yeah. Okay, Greg's going to search the body. Let's do it.
What a monster! Absolute monster! Searching a dead body.
So talk to me, Greg. What'd you do?
Well, I'm imagining the body's on the side.
I know it's face down.
So it's face down.
Oh, face down! Wow.
Face down.
I think the first thing to do then would obviously be roll it over, so it's face up. From here, could you give me a more detailed description of like what kind of age you reckon they are, what they're wearing, etc.?
Yeah. So in terms of age, you're probably looking at around sort of 15, 16 years old. So sort of mid teenage years. Still got quite a young, whilst their face looks more lived in than most 15, 16-year-olds should do, there's still a little bit of innocence still there. Possibly that's coming from the satyr race, or I don't know, but it's got a combination of innocence and weariness as well at the same time. It is, I don't think I've said this already, it's a girl. And she's wearing, just not rags per se, but just the clothes are quite ragged. Now, you can't tell whether that's because she's been living in these on the streets, or whether this is something that she's, just been wearing wherever she's been with Deckvar, or wherever she has been. But she's, she just doesn't look particularly well dressed. Quite short. Although she's laying down, obviously, so very short. But should she be standing up, you'd anticipate her to be quite short.
Obvious signs of cause of death.
I mean, you could probably take a stab, as Geordie did. You've got a small incision in the neck here, sort of just on the front of the neck, and then you would have seen on the back there was a sort of a second stab in the back of the the back of the neck, sort of just leading up to the brain, sort of thing.
I've done an autopsy before. It's kind of fun.
Does this tally with your visions, Greg? Do you think that this is the...
Well, as far as I can tell, and as well as my memory serves, that I believe this is the child that I was seeing through my visions.
Right. When did you start having these visions?
Oh. Well, time is a weird concept to me, you see. When you get to my age, it's hard to tell yesterday from 2 weeks ago. That being said,
nice.
I believe it was, just before we entered the city.
Which city?
The
Yatar.
Well, I thought it was Yatar, but was it?
The first vision you had was in Tribal.
Well, no, it was the smaller place. Yes, Tribal.
Just after we met Geordie Dogood.
Yes.
And you drank the potion that Geordie Dogood gave you.
Well, he said it was a memory potion, and when you get to my age, you'll take anything to improve your memory.
My question is this, and this isn't for you, Greg, this is for everyone. Why? It can't be a coincidence. that Greg started having visions about that include the deeds or are related to Geordie Dogood after he had a potion created by Geordie Dogood. Was Dogood trying to show Greg something?
Well, the only thing that he's managed to show us so far is that he's an evil bastard, apparently.
Or is he?
Well, I don't know. Do you take stabbing children in the neck as an evil bastard thing to do?
Generally speaking, yes. But I can see some situations where it could be done out of mercy.
You can tell someone works as a teacher.
Whose mercy?
Yeah. On a Friday afternoon when it's been a long week. Why would... I mean, is it just a coincidence? Did Dogood give you the... Why... Is it something that's in the potions? Are the potions made from the secretions of the dead?
I mean, more to the point, did he want me to drink it to lure us here? Are we somehow...
Greg, what are you doing at this point?
Still not down by the body, I guess. I haven't really moved. Just to speed the story along a bit, perhaps like I'm almost frisking the body down, looking for clues, maybe like a scrap of paper, or like some kind of inkling of where the child comes from.
Okay. You don't necessarily find, well, not necessarily. You don't find anything on the body at all beyond their clothes. There's literally nothing on them at all. As you're sort of frisking the body, so to speak, you start feeling a level of, I'm not going to say calmness, but familiarity, I guess. You start sort of, it's almost like bringing these memories, now that they're closer to what you believe to be the body of where they came from. It's almost like you're feeling some sort of peace, I guess, some sort of some sort of familiarity and peace. You feel a lot more calmer in terms of that. Can you roll me a wisdom, please?
It is a 6 plus 2.
2. You don't think that you'd be able to find your way to the cave directly, necessarily, because the visions you were having from this child were sort of patchy at best. Like once they got out of the cave, there was talk of zoning in and out and not seeing everything, so you wouldn't necessarily know a direct path. But you feel that, again, the familiarity of these hills is sort of starting to sink in a little bit, and you feel that, like, given time, you would almost certainly find where this child had been imprisoned or stored or whatever it was.
As Greg is rifling through this body, Quinch is starting to look more and more uncomfortable and dishevelled. Quinch hurriedly approaches Daboff. Daboff, please, pass me 2 nuggies quickly.
Daboff unzips his trousers and hands him 2 nuggies from his pocket.
Thank you.
Finch has low blood sugar.
As you all know,
have you got a nug bag down there?
A nug sack,
That's what you would call it.
As you all know, I am not a superstitious one. However, I do not believe that when disturbing the body of a dead child, it should be left in such a manner and disturbed. And Quinch bends down, kneels down, and places 1 nuggie over each of the child's eyes.
God, I knew did you learn that from your monk school? Is that where you learned?
Who could say?
To feed the ferryman.
Okay, so Greg's going to go, you know what? You're absolutely right. The body should not be left out like this. And I'm going to take a step back. And would you allow me to cast Thunderbolt firebolt on the body just to burn it in like a cremation kind of style.
Oh, bloody hell.
Are we definitely done examining it?
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm staying out of all of this.
I mean, I'm not doing this in
'cause
like a mean,
can't do
malicious
shit.
way. It's like in a...
Just
in
literally
a-
blast it into, ribbons. Yeah, it'll be fine.
I mean, let's be honest. I know it's a child, but this is not the first time that you, as a group, have allowed the fire burial of a body.
True.
Amfel's very famously set on fire.
I mean, actually, Mike, do you want to stick your finger in his mouth first or anything? Or
Trying to be respectful here.
No, just the nuggies. Oh, at least
Like
that'd be
how
good.
If your fireball
Yeah.
spell kind of implies that it's being done quite violently, can we not just set it on fire with like some matches or something? Not just blast it into absolute pieces.
all right, fine.
But is everyone done looking around?
I mean, is there any tracks that Geordie Doogood's left? Like, did he have his cart with him, or was he on foot?
Yeah. So can you give me a survival or investigation or perception, please?
Which one would you prefer?
Everyone, or just
Well, Greg's off, so I'll ask him for the time being. Whichever one you prefer.
All right. Well, I've got a 16, and then plus whatever you want. So perception, for instance, is 2. Survival is also 2 because they're both wisdom. So
Let's
yeah.
call it 8. Let's call it 18 then. You do not see anything directly around the body, okay? But you do sort of, as you're sort of looking, maybe you sort of take a bit of a sort of wider circle, and you do eventually see sort of some tracks that are you probably would surmise were some sort of cart or something along those lines, not too far away, probably not too far away from where you actually first saw the body. So a few hundred, 50 feet, 100 feet, something like that. You see some tracks, yeah, and but they sort of stop. They don't necessarily go any further up to the body. They don't go past the body or anything like that. They're sort of just there.
All right. So I'll make the party aware of those, and I go. There seems to be some tracks over here. I'm not saying they are Geordie Doogood's. I'm not saying they're not. How do we feel about following these, or given time, I could probably perhaps piece together where this child came from.
So to clarify, these tracks as well are, if you were to follow them, was probably pointing back where you came. So they're sort of heading towards back towards Yata.
Okay,
It's normally the DJ that lays the tracks, not the JDs. Because they're
awful. I don't know what a DJ is, but awful.
Excellent. Really, really good. Really good banter.
Yeah,
Well done.
Michael. Yeah. Good work.
Yeah.
The child's corpse continues to decompose.
See you next week.
the nuggies have just attracted more flies to it.
Well, I believe that the tracks are going in the wrong direction, so perhaps we should just see where my old noggin can take us. See if I
we
can...
could follow the track to see where they came from, rather than where they were going, because presumably they were going back towards where we were, so we could investigate where he's come from, if he was presumably chasing the children or the child.
Well, that's what we. So if those tracks are heading back to Yatar, we need to find the tracks that brought them here.
But wouldn't we just follow the same tracks in the other direction?
No, because it's not just a line that crosses. The tracks kind of begin there. So we need to find either, maybe we just go in the opposite direction.
Maybe it's like a train and they only go in one line. They just constantly use that to go back and forth.
Seems reasonable. So if I don't know, if we were to go, how far away from where the body is do these tracks start, Nathan?
Probably about somewhere between 50 and 100 foot from the body to where they sort of start/end, however you want to see it.
Does it look like maybe it came in the same way that it left?
You certainly. So if you imagine that Greg would have started looking around the body directly and then sort of like almost did a sweeping circle, you don't see anything from any other direction that close to the body. So you would, in reality, you would probably surmise that the cart probably came from, roughly speaking, the same direction as well. So not quite as straightforward as literally like a train that runs on the same track, but it certainly doesn't seem like, you certainly can't see from that circle that it's like the bearing in mind there's no tracks leading up to the body.
No.
And there's just this one sort of set of tracks. You can't see that it leads off in any other direction. So reality is at least like this close to it.
Maybe we should just head into the hills.
Choice.
We should just
we've sort of got no choice but to follow the tracks. But
the tracks are going back the way we came.
Is there any like blood trails from where the body may have run from before it fell to the floor?
No blood trails, but with Greg's checks, he would have probably seen that there were also a little bit of footprints the opposite side of where the tracks were. So there would have been some. So you would have seen some of like the body would have been essentially, they would have been coming like that, docking.
Brilliant. So I reckon we should follow where we think the child, the direction that it came from before.
Yes. So the opposite side of where the tracks are.
Yeah.
So if the tracks are at 12 o'clock, we're going to head 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie. Up till now, Greg's been leading the party, generally speaking, on a survival check. I'd like that to continue. But I'd like you to, I think you had advantage when you were doing it. I'd like you to be, now that you've seen the body and you've sort of had this sort of spiritual connection, I'd like to give you a advantage +2.
Oh. All right. So first roll is a 7. So and the second one is a 12. +2, 14 plus
2
again. So yeah.
Okay.
14.
Okay. No, 16, wasn't it? 12.
16. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. 2 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah. You start heading further and further into the hills. I think, as I said last time, the further you head into these hills, whilst they still retain some sort of beauty from a scenery point of view, they just become a bit more wild and a bit more bedraggled. In fact, at some point, you sort of see signs of battles. You see some skeletons and that's from years and years ago. There's some weapons you find that are very aged, very rusted. Certainly no good to you at this point. You travel on for another hour. The hills as well start to get a bit bigger as well, it's worth saying. Maybe not quite mountains, but they're sort of, compared to some of the stuff that you've been experiencing up till now, your journey into the hills, these are starting to get a lot larger and a lot more steep.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you don't miss out on the Circus's next crazy antics by hitting subscribe on your podcast app of choice. And in between episodes, you can always find us on social media by searching Dyson Desire on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. We're in our 3rd year now, and if you want to help us grow, you can do so in a number of ways. You can tell a friend, because word of mouth really helps us get our name out there, or you can review us on Apple or Podchaser to help with our visibility. Finally, you can donate to our Ko-fi page to help us take the show to the next level. All links can be found in this episode's description. And never forget, sometimes it is a dog licking a tree. Yes?
Are you looking for a D&D podcast with a dark side? Something more like Game of Thrones and less like Monty Python? Tale of the Manticore is part dark fantasy audio drama, part solo D&D RPG. There's no plot armor here. The dice make all the important decisions. Join me as I resurrect the excitement, wonder, and emotion of old school D&D. Made for a mature audience, Tale of the Manticore is both a fiction and a game. It's the story where chaos rolls.